You won't believe this, but there's a coin out there right now that could turn your life upside down. Imagine holding a tiny piece of copper in your hand that, in a single moment, could make you a millionaire. Yes, I said $1 million. And no, it's not a rare gold coin locked away in a vault somewhere. This coin is a 2009 Lincoln penny, and it might be hiding in your pocket change. Back in 2009, the U.S. Mint struck billions of pennies, and most of them ended up in jars, cash registers, and piggy banks across the country. But hidden among those ordinary coins is a rare anomaly that collectors have been hunting for years. It's the no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that the mint never officially intended to create in significant numbers. The story of this penny is mysterious. The mint has never fully explained why these no-mint mark pennies exist, and that adds to their allure. Some say it was a simple mistake, a single batch that slipped through the system. Others whisper that a tiny number of coins were intentionally left without a mint mark to create a secret collectible. Whatever the truth, these pennies are almost impossible to find, and when they surface, they make headlines. Most people dismiss pennies as worthless. They see them on the sidewalk, in their car, in their wallets, and toss them without a second thought. But if you know what to look for, this ordinary copper coin could be the key to an extraordinary fortune. First, check the obverse. That's the front of the coin with Lincoln's face. Every 2009 penny should have a small mint mark near the date. A P for Philadelphia, a D for Denver, or an S for San Francisco. The no mint mark penny? It has nothing there. No letter at all. Just Lincoln staring back at you, ordinary in appearance, yet hiding an extraordinary secret. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds simple. I'll just scan my change and find one. But here's where it gets tricky. These coins are incredibly rare. Even seasoned collectors have hunted for years without success. That's why spotting a no-mint mark penny is like discovering buried treasure in your own home. The thrill, the excitement, the sudden realization that $1 million could be resting in your hand. It's the stuff of dreams, and the value is staggering. A single 2009 no-mint mark penny can fetch over $1 million in pristine condition. Imagine telling your grandchildren you once held a coin worth more than a house, more than most people earn in a lifetime, tucked away in a shoebox or jar on your shelf. But condition matters. The coin must be sharp, uncirculated, and free of scratches or wear. That's why collectors obsess over grading, examining each detail under magnification. The slightest imperfection can cost tens of thousands of dollars. So when you find one, you have to handle it with care, because this is no ordinary penny. It's potentially life-changing. These pennies are still out there, waiting to be found. They could be in rolls of change at your local bank, in old collections gathering dust, or tucked in jars that haven't been touched in decades. Every time someone digs through their coins, the possibility of stumbling upon $1 million penny is real, and the excitement doesn't end at discovery. Selling or auctioning a penny like this can be a whirlwind experience. Major coin dealers and collectors will fight to get their hands on it, pushing the price higher and higher. It's not just a coin. It's a symbol of luck, patience, and timing, a tangible reminder that sometimes fortune favors the patient. But let's not forget the emotional side. Holding this penny, knowing its story, feeling the weight of history in your palm, it's humbling. This is more than money. It's a piece of American history, a snapshot of a moment in time, and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to experience true wealth in your lifetime. Every time you check your change, think about the possibility. That ordinary penny in your pocket might just be extraordinary. And if you're persistent, if you look carefully and understand what makes this coin special, you could be the next person to make headlines for discovering $1 million treasure. Mark, perfect condition, and from 2009. That's all it takes to turn an ordinary copper disc into a fortune that could change your life forever. Collectors around the world are still searching. Some have struck gold, some have come close, and some are still dreaming. But the thrill of the hunt is part of the magic, the feeling that at any moment, an ordinary coin could become a life-altering treasure. So the next time you empty your change jar, don't dismiss those pennies. Look closely. Examine the date. Check for the mint mark. Handle them with care. One coin could make you rethink everything you thought you knew about luck, money, and opportunity. It all begins in 1977, a year that seems ordinary at first glance. The country was moving forward, but behind the scenes, The U.S. Mint was quietly producing pennies, not just any pennies, but a very rare version of the Lincoln cent, struck in Denver, marked with a D that could mean the difference between a few cents and nearly $1 million. You see, this penny isn't flashy. It doesn't scream wealth like a gold coin might. In fact, it looks almost identical to the thousands of other 1977 D. Lincoln pennies you may have seen. But hidden in its composition, in a subtle minting error, lies the secret that makes it extraordinary. Collectors call it the 1977 D. Rare penny, and the truth is, very few of these were ever made. Experts believe a small batch of pennies was struck incorrectly, creating a die error that today makes these coins incredibly valuable. Only the sharpest eyes and the most dedicated collectors know how to spot it. It's not something you stumble upon. It's something you train yourself to see. And the thrill of discovery is half the story. The moment you realize the penny in your hand could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, imagine finding this coin. You're holding a penny that has survived decades in pockets, purses, and jars. Somehow, it remained untouched, waiting for the right person to notice it. That is the magic of coin collecting. Ordinary items hiding extraordinary potential. This is why collectors will search through countless rolls of pennies, scanning each coin for subtle clues, knowing that the right one could literally be $1 million find. Here's how to spot it. Look at the date, 1977, and then check for the mint mark. A small D near the bottom of Lincoln's bust indicates it was struck in Denver. But that's not enough. The real giveaway is in the details. The shape of the numbers, a tiny doubling on the date or lettering, or the way the metal was struck. It takes patience, it takes focus, and it takes knowledge. But once you know what to look for, you'll never miss it again. Collectors have shared stories of the rush they felt when they identified the 1977 D error. One man described holding it in his hand and feeling his heart pound, knowing he was holding something incredibly rare. The moment was surreal, almost cinematic, because for years, this penny was just another coin. Until, suddenly, it wasn't. The coin doesn't care about you noticing it. It has no clue it could make someone a millionaire. It waits quietly, silently, almost teasingly, for the right person to see its true value. This sense of mystery is part of what makes coin collecting so addictive. Every roll of pennies could hide a story, a secret, a fortune. Every glance at your coin jar could reveal the impossible. Think about the people who stumbled across this penny. Some found it in their change at the grocery store. Others discovered it in old coin collections inherited from grandparents. Imagine opening a dusty box, sifting through decades of coins, and suddenly, the glint of a penny catches your eye. You pull it out, and your mind starts racing. To understand the value, you need to know the market. Collectors pay top dollar for rare errors, and the 1977 D is among the most sought after. Graded correctly, it can fetch astonishing prices. And it's not just about money. Owning one of these coins is like holding a piece of history, a fragment of time preserved in copper and zinc. It's a tangible connection to the past, a bridge between generations, and a potential key to unimaginable wealth. It's elusive. Experts estimate only a handful exist in top condition. Some have sold for $874,000. Yes, you heard that right. Nearly $1 million for a single penny. $1 million. And the excitement doesn't stop there. Just knowing that your penny could be one of these rare finds is enough to make your pulse quicken, your imagination run wild. Every collector has their own story. Some describe it as a lifelong dream fulfilled. Others recount the anxiety of having to verify authenticity. There are moments of doubt, moments when you think it might be nothing, just a regular penny. And then, that electrifying moment when you realize the truth. That is the emotional core of coin collecting. Hope, suspense, discovery, and the life-changing possibility of wealth hidden in the palm of your hand. You can even learn to spot these pennies yourself. Study the date and mint mark, examine the lettering, look for subtle doubling. Familiarize yourself with how the 1977 D error looks in photographs. Then, start your search with patience and intention. Check rolls from banks, sift through collections, and always keep your eyes sharp. Every penny has a story, but very few carry the power to change a life. And here's the secret that most people don't realize. Millions of coins have passed through countless hands over decades. Somewhere, quietly, A 1977 D penny might be sitting unnoticed in a jar, a drawer, or even a wallet. The thought alone is enough to spark obsession because it's not just about the coin, it's about possibility, the thrill of what could be, the power of discovery, the life-changing impact hidden in copper and zinc. Every time a collector finds one, it's more than just money. It's history, it's legacy. It's a reminder that treasures often hide in plain sight, waiting for someone curious, someone patient, someone daring enough to look. And in that moment, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. The mundane transforms into wealth. A simple penny becomes $1 million prize. So, whether you've been collecting coins for decades or are just beginning, remember this. The 1977 D. Lincoln penny is proof that magic still exists in the world, that something small can hold unimaginable value, that fortune can be found where you least expect it. This isn't just a story about coins. It's a story about hope, patience, and the thrill of discovery. About believing that the seemingly ordinary can contain the extraordinary. About keeping your eyes open and your hands ready. Because the next life-changing coin could be right in front of you, waiting to be recognized, waiting to be discovered, waiting to turn your world upside down. A coin that looks like any other Lincoln penny you've passed hundreds of times, sitting in pocket change, waiting for someone to notice. The 1996 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny is more than just copper. It's a secret, a hidden fortune that the U.S. Mint never intended most people to see. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly how to find it. This penny has a story that sounds unbelievable. In 1996, millions of pennies were produced, lining up in banks, wallets, and cash registers across America. But a small batch, just a handful, were struck in a way that made them rarer than anything you could imagine. These aren't mistakes in the way people usually think. They're almost like the mint whispered, "Only the observant will find us." And for decades, they hid in plain sight. The thrill begins when you realize how many people have walked past this coin without noticing. A father handing change to his son, a cashier at a grocery store, a man digging through his old jar of pennies. And somewhere in all that ordinary copper, one of these 1996 D pennies waits. The thought that someone just like you could stumble upon it is enough to make your heart race. It's subtle, almost impossible to see without careful inspection. The mint mark, that small D under the date, holds the secret. But it's not just the D, it's how it was struck. The coin's details, the depth of Lincoln's profile, the sharpness of the lettering, the weight, the shine, these are all clues. A true 1996 D penny worth over $500,000 will look nearly perfect, as if frozen in time. Unlike ordinary pennies, it seems untouched, almost magical. Collectors call it a needle in a haystack, but imagine the thrill of finding it. Your hands trembling, examining the coin, realizing that this tiny piece of metal could change your life forever. A coin that could turn a casual hobby into $1 million discovery. And here's the thing. It doesn't have to come from a rare hoard or a long-lost collection. It could be in your pocket, your drawer, your old piggy bank. Now, let's talk about how to identify it. First, check the date, 1996. Then, the mint mark, D for Denver. But that's only the beginning. Examine the coin under a bright light. Look for a crisp, deep strike. Lincoln's profile should be sharply defined, the lettering clear and unblurred. Compare it to a regular penny. If the details seem almost too perfect, too alive, you might be holding something extraordinary. Every scratch, every mark, every flaw tells a story. But this coin? It's almost flawless, hiding its worth in the most unassuming way. Think about the people who found these pennies. Imagine the man who pulled one from a jar in his kitchen, expecting only a few cents, only to realize he held $659,000 in his hand. The disbelief, the shock, the excitement. You can almost feel it, the life-changing moment when ordinary becomes extraordinary. And this is exactly why collectors spend years hunting for coins like this. Not just for the money, but for the thrill, for the story, for the possibility that luck and patience can converge in a single, unforgettable discovery. Every time you examine a coin, remember that history is hiding in plain sight. These pennies survived decades of use, countless hands, countless pockets, only to be noticed by someone paying attention. And that someone could be you. A coin's journey from the mint to your hands is more than copper and zinc. It's a lifetime of chances, of being in the right place at the right time. It's the mystery, the magic, the promise of $1 million moment waiting to happen. And while $659,000 is already incredible, imagine what happens when collectors fight over these pennies. Prices soar, stories spread, and suddenly the ordinary coin in your jar could be worth even more. The beauty is that it's not obvious, not flashy. It doesn't announce itself. It whispers, waits, and rewards only the observant. You have to see it, feel it, study it. Every detail matters. Every moment counts. Keep your eyes sharp. Look at every penny. Compare them to images from reputable sources. Learn what the 1996 D mint mark should look like under the right light. Don't rush. Take your time. This is treasure hunting, and patience can be as valuable as the coin itself. The more you know, the closer you get to uncovering something that could literally change your life. And here's the part that keeps collectors awake at night. This coin isn't just about money. It's a reminder that luck favors those who pay attention, those who care, those who are willing to look deeper. Every penny you examine is a story, a chance, a mystery waiting to be solved. You could be minutes away from holding a fortune, from holding history, from holding something that very few people in the world will ever see. The excitement of finding a 1996 D Lincoln penny worth $659,000 is only rivaled by the thought that it could be anywhere, hidden among the mundane. In your pocket, on the counter, in a jar. Someone could have overlooked it for decades. And when that moment comes, when your eyes finally spot the perfection, it's electric. You feel it in your chest. The world narrows down to a tiny circle of copper in your hand, and suddenly, life is different. This coin is more than metal. It's possibility. It's hope. It's proof that ordinary things can hold extraordinary secrets. And in a world full of distractions, a 1996 D penny reminds us that paying attention, being curious, and never giving up can lead to life-changing discoveries. Collectors know this. Hobbyists dream of it. And the opportunity, the chance to experience it, could be in your hands. Every detail of this penny matters. The mint mark, the clarity, the strike, they tell a story that no one else can. And every penny you pass over could be the one. That's the real suspense, the real drama. Every coin is a potential millionaire maker, hiding quietly until the right person sees it. And the joy of discovery isn't just financial. It's emotional, transformative, unforgettable. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who just likes checking coins in their change, remember, the 1996 D Lincoln penny is out there. It survived decades, it waited, and now it could be yours. The thrill is in finding it. The story is in holding it, and the reward? Well, that's life-changing. $500,000 is just the beginning. The magic is in knowing that ordinary objects, like a simple penny, can hide extraordinary fortunes. You might be holding a fortune in your hand right now, a coin so rare, so elusive, that most collectors would trade years of searching just to see it. I'm talking about a 1988 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, a coin that, if found, could be worth $467,000. That's nearly $500,000, hiding quietly in pocket change. Imagine the shock, the disbelief, the rush of holding something so valuable, yet so ordinary. Looking.it all begins with a story almost nobody knows. In 1988, the U.S. Mint produced millions of pennies. Most went straight into circulation, ending up in pockets, jars, and cash registers across the country. But a tiny handful was struck without a mint mark. These were never supposed to exist in significant numbers. Somewhere along the way, a mystery unfolded. Coins meant to be ordinary became almost mythical. Collectors whispered about them for decades. Some stumbled upon one by accident, frozen in disbelief at what they held. One man recalled buying a roll of pennies at a local store, thinking nothing of it. Weeks later, he noticed something odd, a subtle difference in the strike, the way the Lincoln Memorial looked on the back. At first, he thought he was imagining it. But experts confirmed the unbelievable. This was no ordinary penny. This was a $467,000 treasure. Now, let me show you how to spot this coin yourself, because knowing exactly what to look for could change your life. First, check the year, 1988. Then, look for the absence of a mint mark. No D for Denver, no P for Philadelphia, nothing. This absence alone doesn't guarantee a fortune, but it's the first critical clue. Next, examine the details, the lines in Lincoln's coat, the depth of the lettering, the sharpness of the strike. Genuine no-mint mark pennies have subtle differences from the mass-produced ones. It takes patience, a careful eye, and sometimes magnification, but spotting it is like finding a needle in a haystack, a needle worth millions. And here's where it gets even more astonishing. These coins were never officially supposed to circulate. They were anomalies, misstrikes, mistakes that somehow slipped past every level of production. That's what makes them almost magical. Every time one surfaces, the world of coin collecting explodes with excitement. Collectors travel across states, check change jars, and hunt rolls of pennies in stores, all hoping to be the one who discovers a $1 million secret hiding in plain sight. Imagine finding one yourself. The heart pounding, the disbelief in your eyes. You run the coin over a magnifying glass, compare it to images online, and finally, it hits you. This is the one. This is the coin that could change everything. Your retirement plans, your dreams, your life story could pivot with a single discovery. This coin represents more than money. It represents history, craftsmanship, and a fleeting moment when chance smiled on a collector brave enough to look closely, to notice the smallest anomaly. There's emotion in these coins, stories untold, waiting to be discovered. Every scratch, every worn edge, every slight imperfection whispers a secret from the past. Here's the reality you need to understand. This isn't about buying a coin at an auction or hoping you stumble into a dealer. This is about awareness. It's about checking every penny in your pocket change, your jars, your drawers. Because this coin could be anywhere. And when you finally see it, when your hands feel the weight of something extraordinary, it's an emotion unlike any other. A mix of disbelief, exhilaration, and awe. Experts estimate that finding one of these 1988 no-mint mark pennies could mean a life-changing sum. $467,000 is just the starting point. The rarest examples, in pristine condition, have the potential to cross the $1 million mark. And yet, despite their value, they look ordinary, unassuming, almost invisible. That's the mystery, the thrill, the pulse-quickening excitement of coin collecting. Every minute that passes, someone else is sorting through pennies, unknowingly passing by history. You could be the one who stops, examines, and discovers the truth hidden in the copper. There's a lesson here. Fortune favors the observant, the patient, the curious. The coin doesn't call out to you. You must see it. You must know it. And when you do, the universe rewards you with something almost unimaginable. So, the next time you dig through change, don't just glance. Hold each penny. Look for the subtle differences. Notice the details that others overlook. The Lincoln Memorial, the fine lettering, the depth of the strike. These are clues, whispers of a secret fortune waiting for the right eyes. Every coin has a story, but this one is screaming to be heard. One small coin, copper and unassuming, has the power to change lives. Imagine telling your friends, your family, that you discovered a coin worth $467,000. Imagine the disbelief, the excitement, the sheer joy of holding something no one else has. That's the magic of this penny, a life-altering discovery hiding in plain sight, waiting for you to notice. It's easy to dismiss a single penny as trivial, almost worthless. But history proves otherwise. There are stories of ordinary people stumbling into unimaginable wealth because they paid attention, because they cared enough to look closely. The 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is that opportunity. It's real, it's rare, and it's waiting. You don't have to travel the world or spend a fortune to find it. You just need your eyes, patience, and a little faith. Every roll of pennies, every coin in a jar, could be hiding this miraculous, fortune-changing treasure. This is why coin collecting is more than a hobby. It's a chance to connect with history, to uncover secrets, and sometimes, to touch the edge of a dream most people think is impossible. Every discovery brings a rush, a sense of purpose, a reminder that sometimes life's biggest surprises are hidden in the smallest details. Check your change. Examine each penny closely. Study the year. Look for that absence of a mint mark. Know the details that set this coin apart. Because somewhere out there, waiting quietly in someone's pocket or drawer, is a 1988 Lincoln penny that could be your ticket to a fortune. A coin that represents more than money. It represents a story, a mystery, a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that could make you a millionaire overnight. Not just any coin, but a 1980 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. A coin quietly hiding in plain sight for decades, worth a staggering $822,000. Most people glance at pennies and toss them into jars, their wallets, or the couch cushions. They don't realize that among those ordinary coins could be a life-changing treasure. Somewhere in America right now, someone is holding this exact penny and doesn't even know it. The story of this coin is almost unbelievable. In 1980, the United States was minting billions of pennies. Lincoln's familiar profile had been stamped on copper for nearly 70 years, and collectors weren't paying attention. But in the rush of mass production, a small error slipped through. Pennies were minted without a mint mark, something almost impossible for this year. This tiny anomaly is what makes the coin extraordinarily rare, and rarity alone doesn't explain its value. The 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny is in demand because collectors know it could be their ticket to financial freedom. Imagine finding a coin in your pocket change that instantly transforms your life. This isn't a fantasy. It's happening right now in homes across the country. Identifying this coin isn't as hard as you might think. First, check the date. It must read 1980. Then, examine the area just below the date on the obverse side. Normally, pennies from this year carry a small D for Denver or S for San Francisco. If it's missing, you may be holding the coin of a lifetime. Pay attention to details. The metal should have the familiar copper tone, the rim perfectly round, and Lincoln's profile sharp. Even a slight imperfection can indicate authenticity. Collectors spend hours scrutinizing coins under magnifying glasses, looking for these subtle differences. And the rewards? Unbelievable. This penny, once overlooked, now commands prices in the hundreds of thousands. There are stories of sellers walking away with over $1 million because they understood exactly what they had in their hand. But the value isn't just about money. It's about history, about holding a piece of the past that survived decades of oblivion. Every scratch, every tiny imperfection tells a story. You're not just holding copper. You're holding a connection to a moment in time, a year most Americans wouldn't even remember. And now, that moment could be worth millions. Even seasoned collectors are stunned when they find one. They describe the thrill as a shockwave through their veins, the kind of excitement you only get once in a lifetime. Your heartbeat races, your mind spins, and suddenly, a simple penny in your hand becomes a ticket to unimaginable possibilities, and the hunt is addictive. You start checking every jar, every drawer, every dusty corner where coins hide. You learn to inspect pennies with a precision you never thought possible. You notice the difference between the raised mint mark and the missing one, the slight shift in copper color, the way the light hits the coin differently. It becomes a game, a treasure hunt, and every coin is a possibility. Here's what separates the lucky few from the rest: knowledge. Knowing exactly what to look for. Knowing the history, the year, the mint mark, or lack thereof. When you understand the details, you're no longer just finding pennies. You're finding million-dollar opportunities hidden in plain sight. A 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny, tucked in a jar, forgotten for decades. Your pulse quickens as you verify the date, inspect the mint mark, and confirm the coin's authenticity. You hold it, and for a moment, the world stops. That single moment could change everything. The reality is, there are very few of these coins in existence. Most have been lost, spent, or destroyed. The ones that remain are treasures, quietly waiting for someone who knows their worth. And the stories of people discovering them are almost cinematic. Ordinary folks, checking change, discovering the coin that makes them millionaires. Look everywhere. Pocket change, old coin rolls, jars of pennies your parents saved. Examine coins carefully, especially those dated 1980. Use a magnifying glass, a good light, and patience. Remember, one tiny detail makes all the difference between a worthless penny and a life-altering discovery. Even if you're skeptical, the possibility alone is thrilling. The thought that a coin you handle every day could be worth hundreds of thousands, even $1 million, is enough to make you look twice at every penny in your home. Every mundane coin has the potential to be extraordinary. You don't need a vast collection or a rare auction connection. You just need awareness and patience. Millions of ordinary Americans hold their coins without realizing the treasure in their grasp. Today, it could be your turn. This penny isn't just about wealth. It's about discovery, about understanding the hidden potential in the smallest things. It's about the shock, the excitement, the rush of realizing that something you took for granted has the power to transform your life. That's what makes the 1980 no mint Mark Lincoln penny so irresistible. Start looking. Examine every coin, every jar, every forgotten corner of your home. Learn the details, memorize the telltale signs, and never underestimate the power of a single penny. Every glance could bring you closer to a discovery that people dream about but rarely find. But what if I told you this exact coin could be worth nearly $1 million? Today, we're uncovering the shocking story of the 1979 no mint Mark Lincoln penny, a coin hiding in plain sight that could turn everyday Americans into millionaires. It all starts with a quiet mystery. The United States Mint produced millions of pennies every year, but in 1979, something unusual happened. A tiny fraction of these pennies were struck without a mint mark, no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco. To the casual eye, they look like any other penny from that year. But to collectors, these unmarked pennies are rare treasures, quietly waiting in wallets, jars, and drawers across the country. For decades, collectors searched high and low for these elusive coins. Some stumbled upon them by accident, finding a 1979 penny that looked just slightly different than the rest. The difference is subtle, almost invisible unless you know what to look for. But that tiny difference can be worth nearly $1 million. Picture the thrill of holding a coin, knowing that it might be one of the few in existence. There's a rush that collectors can't explain, a mix of awe, excitement, and disbelief. Because finding this penny isn't just about money. It's about history. It's about holding a piece of the mint's secret, a small object that tells a story millions of people might never know. First, check the year. It must be 1979. Next, look closely where the mint mark should be, just below the date on the front of the penny. Most 1979 pennies will have a tiny D for Denver. But if there is no mint mark at all, you might be holding something extraordinary. The copper color, the weight, and the feel should be consistent with other pennies from that era, but the missing mark is what sets it apart. This is what makes it so rare and so valuable. Collectors who have found these pennies describe the moment as life-changing. One man, who had spent years hunting coins at garage sales, stumbled upon a 1979 penny with no mint mark in a pile of his own loose change. He couldn't believe his eyes. That ordinary coin in his pocket was suddenly worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, close to $1 million, and he held it in his hand without even realizing it at first. Attention, because these stories are packed with details you might miss. Another interesting fact: the 1979 no mint mark penny is the result of a production anomaly, likely a mistake during the transition between presses at the Philadelphia Mint. A misfeed, a blank planchet struck incorrectly, something small that led to something huge. And that tiny error created a coin worth extraordinary money. Imagine walking down the street and spotting a penny on the ground. Most people overlook it, but what if that tiny, overlooked coin was one of the rare 1979 no mint mark pennies? It's almost like a secret hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone to notice. And the excitement doesn't end with the discovery. Selling or trading one of these pennies can change lives. Stories abound of people suddenly finding themselves with offers in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. One collector described the feeling as surreal, almost like a dream where you wake up richer than you ever imagined. But don't be fooled. It takes a sharp eye to spot one. Examine the edges, check the weight, and most importantly, scrutinize the area where the mint mark should be. It's so easy to dismiss a penny as ordinary. That's why attention to detail is crucial. The difference between a common penny and a life-changing coin can be almost invisible. Now, imagine you have a drawer full of coins at home. Loose pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters. Among them could be a 1979 penny with no mint mark, just waiting for the right person to notice it. The thrill of discovery is part of the journey. Collectors describe it as a mixture of suspense and disbelief, like finding a hidden treasure map that actually leads to real treasure. Some experts say that only a few thousand of these coins exist. That scarcity drives the value, making each one a potential ticket to wealth. And unlike other collectibles that lose charm over time, a penny like this carries a permanent historical significance. It's a piece of Americana, a symbol of what can happen when chance and history collide. Every time someone finds one, it makes headlines, captivates collectors, and inspires dreamers. People imagine themselves as the next lucky person to stumble upon this rare coin. And the stories are endless, from garage sale discoveries to pennies found in long-forgotten jars. The suspense never fades because you never know when someone will uncover the next million-dollar penny. So when you're sorting through your change, don't rush. Look closely. Check the year. Look where the mint mark should be. Feel the weight. Compare it to other pennies from the same year. And remember, this isn't just a coin. It's a ticket to a story, a mystery, and possibly even a life-changing fortune. Patience, persistence, and knowledge are key. The 1979 no mint mark penny isn't just rare, it's iconic. And every coin tells a story of the mint, of history, and of the lucky few who recognize its true worth. As we wrap up, think about all the ordinary pennies you've ever held. One of them might not be ordinary at all. One might be a 1979 penny with no mint mark, quietly waiting to be discovered, quietly waiting to make someone's dream come true. And that dream could be yours.